Hello, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. We would like to thank KNNW for hosting this event for us. And now we're going to get started.
Hello, welcome. I was going to start speaking Spanish, but no, I guess this is in English. I'm coming from a Spanish class. So, welcome everybody. My name is Magnolia Jurado. I'm one of the faculty members here at ENMU. And today I'm going to show you how to make tacos and salsa. Muy bien. So, I guess we are going to start with the salsa. You agree? So salsa, I do it my kind of spicy. I use 12 jalapenos. If you have guests and you don't know exactly how much spicy, you can make it half 6. And if you know there's somebody that just do not like a lot of spicy, you can do it with 3. So that's my measure: 12, 6, or 3. For today's, I'm going to do 6. Do you want to do 6 or 3?
I don't know. I don't like it super spicy, but I'll manage.
3 will do that for you. And let's do this. So what I do is the first thing I start doing is roasting the jalapenos. So I just cut the top part. Just cut it. These have been washed already. And that's usually the first thing because it takes a little bit longer to kind of roast them pretty good. And which one is this? This one. Put it probably on, I would say 7 for now. If it gets too hot, we can change them. Okay, I'm going to put them under a lid because it's going to start smoking here, and I don't want everybody to start coughing and leave, and we won't be able to finish this, this glass. Bueno, so that we got that part.
Okay.
Let me get the trash there. While that is roasting, let's start with the tacos. And we can probably start with what we're going to do first, because the first thing I do is roast a little bit or fry a little bit of onion. So let's start with the onion. For as many tacos are we going to do, I'm probably going to use half of the onion. And I'll give you the other half, or I'll give you part of it.
Oh, can you go over the ingredients again?
Oh, yes, the ingredients that we need. For the salsa, I usually do the 6 jalapenos, 1 can of tomato sauce, and a couple of regular tomatoes that I'm also going to put here to roast a little bit. And I use garlic. I use 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, and cannot find them here. But at home, please go ahead and use real garlic for that. So that will be for the salsa. Just that. No onions. I don't put onions in my salsa. And if I do, my mom will stop talking to me for a month. Like, no onions. Because a lot of people ask me, do you put onions? No. Just garlic, tomato, jalapenos, and tomato sauce for that. That's for the salsa. Now, for the tacos, it depends on what you have available. I normally use sirloin because that's the kind of meat that I like, and it's kind of softer, and it's good for tacos. But pretty much any other kind of meat that you have, even ground meat. Sorry, like what's the name? Ground meat will do. So any kind of meat, according to the budget, you can get any. Even you can make it with chicken if you have chicken, or pork, and just any meat. Tacos are usually, traditionally, it was the poor people's food. So whatever was left over, whatever the the hacienda, whatever was leftovers, that poor people will collect and cook. So you can make, that's why you have tacos of tripas and tacos of the stomach. And so whatever was left over that the big boss at the hacienda didn't want to eat, that's what you use to make tacos. So you could pretty much eat anything you can make out of tacos. So you need your tortillas, your meat, and to season it, I normally use, and that's just a family tradition, a little bit of chicken bouillon. Even if I'm not cooking chicken, I'm still use that to give it some flavor. Some people will use the Maggi sauce. You can find that in Walmart, the Maggi salsa, or you can use some soy sauce also. So something that is kind of salty to give it a little bit of flavor. Even the, I can't say that, which is tertiary, whatever sauce. Anything you have at home. So you have soy sauce, you have this, that will do to season. And of course, salt and pepper, onion, and some oil for the tortillas and to fry the onion. That's an important step. The first thing before you put the meat, you chop and fry the onion first, and then you add the meat. Are you gonna be chopping with me?
I'll try. I'll try not to cry.
Okay, let's see we cry. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is just cut this in small pieces. You can probably keep, depends on how much you like onions, so half of the onion will be okay. If you like onions a lot, you can put the whole onion on it.
How are you cutting them?
Okay, I take off the dry part of the skin.
Ooh.
There you go. So now what I'm gonna do is just cut it like that and then like this to make little small pieces. First just do this. Okay, before I cut the other way, if you're looking here, let me move this. Before I cut it the other way, I might save some of this because some people like the fresh onion. They like the French onions in their tacos, so I will save just a little bit separate for the tacos at the end. And I'm gonna use the rest to fry it. So now I'm gonna cut it the other direction to make it little, to chop it.
Oui. Ooh.
Okay, so we kind of have the chop here. How are we doing here?
I struggle a little bit. I don't really eat that many onions, so.
Okay. Well, probably usually all Mexican food has a lot of onions. All Mexican food is like an important ingredient. If you don't, besides the salsa. So here we have a little bit, now we have that chopped. We're gonna put it right here. Gonna fry it later. Now we're gonna do the meat. And the meat is right here. And like I said, if you want kind of the fancy tacos, use sirloin. Otherwise, use whatever meat you have available.
Man, a lot of
It's
meat.
a lot of meat. Okay, well, let's do it. And just small chunks. Usually just cut it in a few pieces here, and then I just separate it so it's too big. And now I make little stripes. I fight with it. Sometimes you just have to fight with it. Okay, so once I got the stripes, just cut the chunks. About that, you can see about that size. Depends on how big you want it. Usually this is the size that I normally do it. You don't want to chop me?
You want me to chop some? Okay. And put this in the
Sure.
bowl.
That way we can finish faster.
Okay. Okay.
So usually one of these big steaks, it will make you probably about 6 tacos, with 6 to 8 tacos, depends on how much meat you put in your tacos. You can always, if you don't have a lot of meat, you can always do like the old grandma's tricks is add a little pieces of potatoes, or add a lot of tomato and lots of tomato and onions. Some people will add the bell peppers. So if you want to make it a little bit look like it's more, because you don't have that much meat, you can always be creative and add a few things.
Yes. Do what? So what do you do on campus?
What do I do on campus?
Yes.
Well, things that I enjoy is whenever they have the theater plays. I love going to see the theater plays. I like to go see the exhibitions that they have at the, what's the name over there by the library? That they always have really nice paintings and drawings. And
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy going to the cafeteria too. Like, not cooking. I love cooking, but sometimes I love somebody else cooking for me. So I like to go to the cafeteria and try the food. And
Yeah.
besides that, we're teaching, talking to my students.
So, are you in charge of Spanish club here?
Yes, I'm the advisor for the Spanish club. And, well, right now they're planning to go to the Songfest.
Songfest.
So we have Songfest pretty soon. That's the 27th?
Yes, it's the 27th through October 2nd.
September 27th to October 2nd, pretty much all the different organizations participate. Oktoberfest, if you get a chance to go and or be part of it, the Spanish Club still needs some. We have a lot of members preparing what they're going to do, but if you guys want to help and participate with them, you're welcome to. Just let me know, or any of these guys, the sale or somebody, let them know, like, hey, I want to be part of the Spanish Club, and you can participate. You don't need to speak Spanish to be part of it. You're probably going to learn some Spanish on the process.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so while we continue cutting this, I'm going to check my jalapenos here.
Okay.
Because I do want them a little bit black. When they start roasting, not yet. They're not a little bit, I'm going to leave them a little bit more. It's a little bit more roasted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually missing one. Anyways, give me another one. No, that's enough. I don't want to kill here my partner. So I'm only making 5 jalapenos. Okay.
Okay. So does Spanish Club have a homecoming candidate running for y'all, or y'all are just gonna join Songfest for fun?
Just Songfest for fun. We had candidates before, and then we had, some of our members participate on that. But as far as I know, I might be wrong. One of our members right now, he's the current king.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you want me to cut another one?
Probably this, if you
This
can.
out? Okay.
Or half of that, and you give me this. I don't think we need more than that.
Okay. And are you an alumni here at ENMU?
Yes, I graduated from ENMU back in 2001. Back, 2000, one of those years, I forgot. 2001, I graduated here with a double major in criminal justice and Spanish. And, who would have known that I would ended up back here teaching. And I really like that. I really like to, because I was part of this and I knew a lot of your professors here. I met them when I was a student. And it's really nice. So now I even probably getting close to start getting some of my classmates, kids, to start coming to college. Because now they're in high school and they're going to start becoming my students pretty soon.
No.
We probably have enough meat.
Okay.
Yeah, with this and that. Fighting with this.
And then some of it is a little tough. I'm like,
Some
come
of
on.
this stuff.
Cut.
Some people will actually heat it before start cooking it. Okay, gonna put that one. So we have this much, and that's way more than enough for 2 people. So 2-3 people who could eat really good with this and have some leftovers. Okay, now we're gonna start cooking. Because of sirloin, and it depends on how you like your meat, I usually don't cook it that long. Just cook it enough, and then I take it off. And then I let the juice kind of consumes and become thicker. And once that happens, then I add the meat again. Because if you leave the meat there for too long, if you like it like that, cook your meat for a long time, it's fine. I normally, because it's sirloin, I do not.
Okay.
Do not cook it that long. Now let's start working with this.
What'd you say to ask?
And so I'm gonna switch this here, this over here.
Okay. And wasn't yesterday the start of Hispanic Heritage Month?
Yes, and we started yesterday. Today is pretty much the kick out of it. We started with this, and there's gonna be a lot of different activities. All of you probably got an email. See, I don't know if you can see this, but now when they start getting that color, roasted like that, then I turn them around, and then I do that for on the other side.
Okay. And isn't today the Independence Day? Because I know today my Spanish teacher told me that y'all have 2 Independence Days. And a lot of people don't know that.
We don't have 2 Independence Day. Who?
She said that today is the Independence Day, and then like Cinco de Mayo is like the independence from, I think she said France or something like that.
It wasn't independence because we were never part of France. So Mexico celebrates the Independence Day actually at midnight. That's why people start on the 15th. So right at midnight when you start the beginning of the 16th, because that's the time when the Independence Father he called people, and because he realized that they had plans for another time to start the independence movement, but they realized somebody had given away the information that were coming to arrest them. So what he did is, it was a priest, started calling people to come to the church right at midnight to ask them to start the fight against Spain, because the independence was from Spain. So that's why it's exactly at midnight, the 15th coming into the 16th. So that's Independence Day in September. Cinco de Mayo, because after Mexico was independent, and the 16th is celebrated in a lot of other countries. Why? Because the independence movement, it wasn't just part of Mexico. It just kind of spread through the rest of Latin America. And the rest of Latin America, that's what a lot of countries celebrate on the 16th. Now, Cinco de Mayo came after, because once Mexico was independent and a lot of the countries were independent, France decided like, oh, maybe it's my turn. Spain is out. What about us now? Maybe we can take over. And it didn't work. So they invaded Mexico, and they actually That's what Cinco de Mayo celebrated, because even though it was the Napoleon's army and everything, they lost. They had to run away. Muy bien. Okay, so now this is hot. I'm going to add some oil. I can open it.
You gotta fight it too.
Gotta fight it too sometimes. So just a little bit of oil, because we're going to do the onions.
Okay.
So, this. A little bit of onion, a little bit of oil, sorry. And then we add, depends on how much you want. I would say that is about a little bit over half a cup of onion, maybe a little bit more. So I'm gonna fry this until it starts changing colors. You can add a little bit more of oil if you need to. Sweaty. Now my hair is going to the back.
Yeah, I thought you would figure it out. Or whether you wanted it in front or back.
Yes, in the back. Okay, this takes a little bit. There. I'm gonna go ahead and check my jalapenos. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and check the jalapenos.
What'd you say?
Still need a little bit more. Still roasting the tomatoes also on the side.
It did a comment for you on there.
Thank you. You're telling me this is impressive multitasking. I'm usually faster. I'm like doing everything else, but they told me do it slow. Do it slow, because I have students learning how to make tacos. Okay. This is gonna take a little bit because we need to make sure that it doesn't burn, but it just starts changing colors. Which is already doing it. So what do you do in your free time? What can students do in ENMU?
Well,
Besides cooking, learning how to cook.
well, I mean, there's a lot of different organizations here on campus. Like anything you can think of, they probably have an organization for it. And if there's not, if you and 5 people share that same common interest, you can start a new organization here on campus.
That's good.
But me, I'm a part of ASAB, and I've just been moving up the line with ASAB, and I enjoy it. So, I mean, I started out as just a regular person in ASAB, and now I'm a coordinator. So most of the time I'm just with ASAB, and like this semester I'm doing my internship, so I'm working with the ENMU police on campus, and he shows me like all of these little places that ENMU like owns. Like he took me to the dig site, which I didn't know ENMU had, because they were like driving for like a while, and I was like, where are we going? Like, I was like, are we still in Portales? And he's like, oh yeah, there's a dig site out here where like the people who do the archaeology and stuff.
Good.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, doing that, I've seen a lot more stuff that ENMU has. So
good.
That's what I
Well,
do in my free time.
this onion is pretty much ready for the meat. So once it's like that, starting to change colors, then we add our meat. So we have this right here. And I'm gonna use the one cianet. This too. I have to say that this poor girl, she's been my student. She's taking, what, 3 classes with me?
I think
Something
so.
like that. So I got to torture her in class too.
Yeah. Spanish is hard, but you make it easy for me.
bien. I don't really add the rest of the ingredients until this is almost cooked. And it depends on the meat. Sometimes there's a lot of juice comes out, and some like this one is not that much, which is good. That way you know how to take it out and let the juices consume. This is just probably gonna be just perfect because we cook it and then we can add the rest of the ingredients and have it ready for the rest of to make the tacos.
Okay. So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food it was my grandma's, and now it's my mom's. I don't have my grandma anymore, but probably the chile rellenos. I really love chile rellenos, and so stuffed peppers, and caldo de res, so the beef stew. I really like beef stew.
Oh, I
Those
love
two are
beef
mine.
stew.
Those two are my favorites. Elotes. The other day that they had the activity for green and silver, but they had the corn, the elotes. Oh, those elotes. Yes.
So what's the difference in asado and asala?
Asado and asada.
Yeah.
Okay, asada is, asado and asada is an adjective, so it describes something. So in this case, it's carne, which is meat. So carne is feminine, so you say carne asada. It's asada because carne is feminine. Asado is, you use it when you're making like the red, the pork with red chili, the sauce. That's asado because it's asado de puerco. So puerco is a pig, and it's masculine asado, and that's what we use, asado de puerco, because it refers to, it's an adjective for puerco. This is an adjective for carne, which is feminine. That's why.
That makes sense.
Okay, so still that's almost cooked. So now we start adding the rest of the ingredients. Let me, can I have the garlic and all that? So it depends on how salty you want it. For this much, I will personally use probably half a teaspoon of the caldo de pollo. Half a teaspoon. Well, kind of pretty, maybe a little bit less, like this much. I put it on it. If you like it more salty, you can always add a little bit more. But because this is garlic, it's garlic powder. So make sure, because if you have garlic salt, you add in more salt. So if you're concerned about how much salt you eat, make sure you don't use that much of that if you're gonna use the garlic salt. But this one doesn't have salt, so I'm just gonna just a little bit. I was more than a little bit. I would say probably not half a teaspoon, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and then pepper. That's also according to how much pepper you like. If you like it a lot or not. And I'm not gonna put salt because I already put the chicken bouillon. So after all, it got a little bit of juice. So if you like the meat really dry, you can take the meat out and just let the juice kind of dry out a little bit, but it doesn't really have that much. So I'm not gonna do it. But if you happen to do this and you have a lot of juice, what I will do is take the meat out and let the juice dry out and then add the meat again. So this is how I like it. Barely, maybe a little bit of pink inside, and kind of medium well. So I'm gonna stop right here. If you like it medium well, like that. If you like it well cooked, you just cook it a little bit, maybe a couple of more minutes. A couple of more minutes. So I'm gonna turn this off. Turn it up, and then put it on the side to finish the salsa. Finish the salsa. So now we need a blender. Do we have one? Oh yeah, there we do have one. So looking back at our jalapenos here, now they are exactly how I want them. It took a little bit, but now they pretty, well, you can show this, but they have to be really, really roasted. Really roasted to make the taco salsa. Really roasted like that. At least in one side. Tomatoes don't need to be that roasted, it's fine, but jalapenos, they do. Okay? So now, the trick for the salsa is do not blend the jalapenos right away. Because jalapenos, if you over blend them, they change flavor. Did I turn this off? Off. Yes. If you over blend it, they will change the flavor and the salsa won't taste that good. It has to be chunky. So the first thing we do is add a can of tomato sauce. If we can open it. I can use the knife. Old school. The oven. Where's the oven?
Is it not this? Oh.
Do you see it? Technical difficulties. I don't see it. Okay. We can always do it old school with a knife and open it. No? Muy bien. So I guess I'm just going to go old school. Plan B. Always be ready for plan B. So now we have a couple of holes right there. I don't know if you have it in the camera. So now we're gonna put our tomato sauce.
Wow.
Tomato sauce here. And you add 2 or 3. we found the can opener. Well,
So you need another one?
no, just one.
This one?
Okay, so 1 can. Then I add the tomatoes. You can do it with just tomatoes. If you have a lot of tomatoes, you're growing tomatoes, just go ahead and use 4 or 5 tomatoes if you want. Or I don't know, because I learned it that way from my mom, just 1 can and then some regular tomatoes. And I normally add garlic, usually about 3 or 4 pieces of garlic, cloves of garlic. But that's something else we don't have. Oh. We don't have for some reason, but please use real garlic at home because that's the best salsa, real garlic. Here, just plan B as the can opener. I'm just going to use the powder. Oops. Maybe the equivalent to...
Linda was the one who did the shopping, so...
Linda, ¿qué pasó con mis ajos?
We blame her.
No, that's okay. See, cooking is just like that. You just work with whatever you have at home. And if you don't have one thing, you find something else to do. So or you find something else to kind of cut it. So can of tomato sauce, 2 roasted real tomatoes, usually 3 or 4 garlics. And yes, improvising. So cooking is always improvising. It is. So you run out of one thing, you just replace it with something else. So this is what you're going to blend first. Don't put the jalapenos yet. You blend this really, really good.
Okay. And you
it
said
right
you don't put the onions in there because
I don't put onions.
your mother.
My mom will stop talking to me if I put onions in my salsa. We have never in my family, the whole family, mother, grandmother, great grandmother, nobody has ever put onions in the salsa. Because people always ask me, do you put, oh, this salsa is so good, do you put onions? No. Tomatillos, maybe if I have some, I will put tomatillos, but not onions, just garlic.
I didn't hear you.
Huh? Too much? So you blend that really good. Because you remember, in a perfect day, you have real garlics. So you want the garlic to be very well blended. So sometimes you have to look and see if the garlic is blended. If not, you might have to do it for a little bit longer. Once you have this ready, if you want, you can add salt. That's up to you. I normally don't add salt. Some people add a little bit of the chicken bouillon or just a little bit of salt if you like it. I normally don't, but let's just put a little bit just because. Maybe not a lot, but maybe just a little tiny, not even a quarter, probably 1/8 of spoon. Okay. Like I say, I normally don't. Also, if you're the kind of person that is going to keep the salsa forever, this usually lasts a long time. You keep it in the fridge, it will last a month or maybe even more, like about a month. It won't go bad. But if you want to keep it longer, you can add a little bit of vinegar. A little bit of vinegar will make it last longer. Now I add my jalapenos here. In this case, it's 5 jalapenos. 2, 4, 5. I add my 5 jalapenos. I cover it. Now, don't use the high. I normally use the pulse because I don't want to over blend this. So I do 1, and I look at it. It's still a little big, so I want it chunky. And that's probably perfect now. Let me see. Yeah, this is perfect. I don't want to over blend the jalapenos. Do we have anything for the salsa? That's okay. We can use this one.
Oh, he said there's
improvisation. So we just put the garlic back in the chopping board.
Okay. I see.
There you go. We find one.
Is this one too
If
small?
you think it's too thick, you can always add a little bit of water. So here's my salsa. See, the jalapenos are kind of chunky, not completely blended, not like liquefied. And this is just the perfect taco sauce.
So where's your mom from?
My mom is from Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
Yes, she was born in Chihuahua, the capital city, Chihuahua. And so this is her secret salsa. So don't tell her I gave you the recipe.
Oh.
But remember, garlic, real garlic. Okay, now we have the meat ready. We have the salsa ready. What we're gonna put once we have the taco ready, we wanna put some cilantro on it. We wanna put some, maybe more tomato on it. And so we just have a bunch of stuff ready for depending on what you wanna put in your taco. Usually I cut tomatoes in half, and I just cut it like this. So half circle to put on the tacos.
So this is online. So what if your mom sees it? Is she gonna get you?
will be too late. I said,
Yeah.
Mom, it's too late. It's out on the, it's out on YouTube. It is what it is.
We'll just give her credit every time.
Yeah, give her credit. So my mom, Gloria Jurado, gracias por la salsa. Yes. Now we also want to chop some cilantro. Not everybody likes cilantro, but I do. Do you like cilantro?
Not really.
No? Well,
No.
see, there's, I always like, half people do, half people don't. That's the reason why I don't cook it with it. I don't put it in there because some people don't like it. So I just add it after I'm done. So I'm making my tacos. So just make it.
I mean, there's those people that they're like, it tastes like soap. I was like, I don't know if it tastes like soap. I just don't know what it tastes like. I'm just not
You don't even want to try?
I tried to like, it's been a long time since I tried it. So I mean, you know, when you grow up, your taste buds kind of grow with you. So maybe I like it now. But when I was younger, I didn't like it. I
That's
wasn't
true.
a
There's
fan.
a lot of things that you don't like when you're little and that you ended up liking when you're older. There's something else. Actually, this is the best part of the cilantro. A lot of people throw it away. But when you're cooking and everything, this actually gives a lot of flavor to your soups and stuff. So it's up to you if you want to. I usually cut this too and add it to cilantro. So that depends on what you like. Okay? I normally cut the whole thing. I chop the whole thing. So now I have onions to put in my tacos. I have the kind of half circle onions, half circle tomatoes, chopped cilantro, and some people like lemons. You just cut your lemons too. I usually have a big plate in the middle with all this garnishment and then have people add whatever they want. So we have the lemon and avocado. A lot of people like avocado. Avocado, you can kind of smash it with a fork, or if it's like this, it's not too, it's still kind of a little bit hard. Well, depends on how you want to do it. You can cut it in little slice like that.
Oh, there it goes.
Spill it off. You have to just. Now I'm fighting with the avocado.
Nothing's in your favor today.
I tried to make it the right way, but okay. The skin is pretty soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, some avocados are hard. This is pretty soft. So now I have it's ready. $3 for an hour. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this off one more time.
Oh,
So I got thank you. Got some slices there, so I have all I need for my tacos. And now the last part that we do at the last part is the tortillas, because you don't want them to get cold. So you wait until the end. Can I clean my hand with one of those?
They put them there, so
Okay,
I'm
they
going to say
put 'em
yes.
there. I'm going to clean my hand. Okay. So one thing with the tortillas, if they're already, these ones are they're pretty soft. They're pretty soft. If your tortillas are hard, what you can do is in a little plate, put a little bit of water and a little bit of oil. And that will make them a little bit fresh. And do we have plates?
Oh. Is that under here? Oh, I see it.
I have this avocado. Doesn't want to leave my finger. There you go. Okay, so now we have the meat ready. We have what we're going to put in our tacos ready. We have our salsa ready. Now the last part is our tortillas. So there's 2 of us here, so maybe I want 3 tacos and 3 tacos, or 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Usually everywhere you go, they give you 4 tacos when you buy them. So let's do 4 tacos.
What'd you tell me to get?
So in the same that I was roasting the jalapenos, I will
a
add
spoon. Okay.
a little bit of oil. because I want to kind of fry a little bit the tortillas, but not too much. Not too much. One, two,
Oh, okay.
3. Let's do 4.
This is the best spoon we have for that.
There you go. So now we have a spoon for the salsa. This probably keep it well high at the beginning, but then you can put it down to 7 or 6 because you don't want to burn your tortillas either. This working?
So was homecoming like around like the same when you were here, or did y'all do different things, or did y'all have different traditions then?
You know, back then I had 3 little kids.
3.
So I couldn't really stay for anything. And I was living in Clovis. I would just drive here, go to class, and go back. Because my two oldest ones were in school, but my youngest one, I always had to find somebody to take care of him, so I had to go back. So I never really participated in any of that. So that's why now I like to go see how this works, because I never had a chance to do it back in the day. I did participate in different things, like the study abroad. I went with Dr. Ayala to Mexico, to Yucatan, to Merida, and we visited the pyramids and did different things. We had classes in this little school in Merida, so that was really cool. Something that we did back then.
I mean, my Spanish has improved like very little since your class, but I don't think it's still good enough for me to go to another country.
Well, maybe that's why you need to actually go to another country and be forced to.
Maybe. I feel like if nobody else knew English, I'd probably learn it a little better.
Okay, this is taking a while. Am I in the right? High, medium.
Oh, I think you have some more comments.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's the best way to improve. See, you need to go to a study abroad, because here you're always looking for people that you always have people that speaks English to you, so you don't really need to practice your Spanish. But if you're in a country that you need to actually practice, if you don't ask, you don't eat.
Yeah.
So you need to learn like 4 tacos por favor, or una hamburguesa por favor, or ¿dónde está el baño? Una cerveza.
I only know how to be like, no onions. I'm like, no cebolla.
No cebolla, por favor.
That's all I know.
Okay, this is taking its time.
Turn it up a little bit.
I think it's in high.
Oh.
So maybe I need to use another one. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, because this one's smaller, so it's only like heating right here. So
but it's heating all the way here.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It's taking its time.
It's taking its time. So let's either wait or try to use another one. Yeah, but we've been having, the study abroad programs. It's been a long time, because when I was at school here, it's 20 years ago. So Dr. Ayala was taking students to Mexico, to Yucatan, and then Dr. Contreras was going to Guatemala. And then I took students to Spain several times. And now we have a new Spanish teacher, and we've been talking about it. She might do something we have a couple of ideas. So maybe back to Merida or Mexico City. So there's a few ideas for next year, hopefully, for another study abroad program.
Okay, that's good. You know, our Spanish teacher, she always tells us, she's like, I lose my voice after some of my classes, and she goes, that means y'all are not talking enough, and I'm doing all the talking.
I'm doing all the talking, so you guys need to talk.
I'm like, I am trying, but I don't want to say the wrong answer. And she's like, well, you'll never know if you don't say it. I'm like, okay,
Learning
I'll
a
try.
language, you know, if you're already good, you don't need to take classes. You take classes because you need to learn, and then part of learning is making mistakes and saying one thing or another, and that's what it takes to learn a language. I don't know. These tortillas are just refusing to get.
Well, they said
You
it
know-
might be taking a long time because it's an electric stove.
Okay, so
That makes sense.
if you have a gas, it might be a little longer. Also, or shorter. But you don't have to. It depends on how you like them. They're already soft enough to make the tacos, and they're not gonna break. So this is good enough if you like them really soft, or you can let them kind of sit there for a little longer and become like a little tostada, a little bit more hard. And but this is pretty good now.
Yeah, the gas stoves go really fast. Like in my house, I have a gas stove. Luckily, I hate electric stoves.
The problem, a lot of people don't have a choice. Whatever you have,
Yeah,
whatever
they
you have.
usually just come with the house these days.
Okay,
So.
so now we are ready for our tacos. So what we do is we put our tortillas on our plate. Ready to serve our tacos. The meat should still be hot because we kept it on the stove and the warm area. So hoping this is off. So now we put our meat. Try to get if you have a lot of juice, just to get it out. So put our meat in our tacos.
Someone gave you a good suggestion as well.
If you really stuck and need to hear them, well, you can wrap them in a damp towel. Can you read it? Because I can't see.
Oh,
And
yeah,
microwave.
I know. Yeah, they said this a damp towel and then the
Put
microwave.
it in a towel, like a little bit
And it'll go
humid
fast.
towel, and put it in the microwave.
So I guess like if you like them soft, that'll work for you. But if you're one of those people that like it crispy,
I would not put them in a microwave. Sorry, I would not.
she said her ancestors.
And I will get mad if somebody puts them in a microwave. Like, no, it has to be.
But if you didn't know, they like heat them up when you got there, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't care, okay, eat them. But I don't like them in the microwave. I think yeah, but that works. If they're a little bit humid. Put my carne.
Oh, she said
So
if it's
depends on what?
You said if it's stuck.
Yes, if you're stuck, it's a good idea. If you don't have anything else besides a microwave, then that's the way to go. Or if you just need to warm it up a little bit, maybe they've been sitting there for a long time, yes, put them for a little bit in the microwave. Okay, so we have our tacos. Usually what we do, you might add, if you like onions. You don't like onions, so I'm going to leave 2 without onions.
Okay.
2 without onions and 2 with onions. So I'm just going to put a little bit more fresh onion on them. I would add tomatoes. Do you like tomatoes?
I do like tomatoes.
Okay, I'm going to put 2 or 3 pieces of tomatoes on each one of them. There you go. Maybe a little bit more. You don't like cilantro, right?
I'll try a little bit of it.
Okay, I do like cilantro, so I'm going to put some cilantro
She's that
on
powdered
mine. I usually put a lot of cilantro on mine. I'm going to put just a little bit on yours.
I appreciate
That's good?
it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about avocado? Do you like avocado?
I do like avocado.
Muy bien. Okay, so we can put a little bit of avocado here. Little bit of avocado. So now we're ready for the salsa. Do you want salsa?
I'll try a little bit.
And that's one of the good reasons we make the salsa separate. We don't add jalapenos or anything spicy to the meat, because sometimes you have little kids and you want to give them something that is not that spicy, or people don't like that much spicy, so you make it and everybody puts as much salsa as they want.
Okay.
Okay? See? No?
Yeah.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
So in case it's super spicy.
There you go.
I don't
A
want to
little
cry
bit.
on camera.
And what about lemon? Do you like lemon?
I do love lemon.
Okay. So lemons, independent if you like it or you don't like it. But pretty much, these are our last, our ending product. A little bit of lemon here. There you go. And now we have our tacos ready. See, we got 4 there, and then we have plenty of meat for another, probably another 8 tacos here. So this can feed for 2 other people. You have somebody with 4 tacos, and then you can make another 8 from there. Okay, ready to try them?
I am ready to try them.
Okay,
Excited.
let's do it. So how you guys doing over there? Is it difficult? Is it easy? What do you think? I think I put a lot of meat in my taco. So, a lot of meat in my taco. There you go. You know you have to eat it on top of your plate because it's probably gonna.
It's good.
It's not that spicy, is it? So, these are your tacos. And eat over what? Eat over another tortilla. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's the reason why in a lot of places they put 2 tortillas, because if the first one breaks, then you have the other one, or whatever meat falls on falls off, then you have another tortilla. See,
Another
like
taco.
Right here, I already dropped half of it. I could make another taco. So that meat came off. I could make another taco out of this one.
The meat just keep falling.
That's the problem with real tacos. They keep falling apart. So any of you have any questions, like I said, again, you can put 2 tortillas. You can put 2 tortillas, and you won't be having this problem.
Okay, so we're just gonna wrap it up. We hope y'all all had a good time, and if you did follow along and your tacos look very good and you want to post them, just make sure if you post on social media to tag ASAB so that we can see all y'all's beautiful creations that y'all made. We thank y'all all for tuning in. We also thank K&W once again, and keep an eye out for our next event. Everything that we do is usually in the email, so we thank y'all.
Thank you for being here. Enjoy your tacos. Hasta luego.